Field Welding family. Black Feniks checking in right now. I am outside of my mother's house in McGee, Arkansas, in my hometown. And I wanted to talk to you about my first job because the first job I ever had, ever doing anything, it was chopping cotton. I actually got on the back of a lady's truck that we call Miss SMA, and it was more of my peers and older, people that I knew that actually went out there and started chopping cotton, and we got our school clothes like that. And I wasn't even a teenager when I was doing it. I think I was like 11, 12, maybe 13. I don't know if I did it at 13, but I know 11, 12. You know what I mean? Like my first physical job was out there chopping cotton family. And, being young, I literally thought that chopping cotton was to chop the cotton thing down. And I remember my mom and some older people like, nah, man, what are y'all doing? You don't do that. You chop the grass from around the cotton. You know what I'm saying? But, we didn't know no better. We was young, just trying to get out there and get some money. But we used to have some fun, family. Like, even though it was what it was, eating crackers and potty meat and man, it was crazy, family. But you know what? Those work ethics in the South in Arkansas taught me so much as far as being independent and transitioning from doing that, grinding. Yes, yes, yes. Um, it's really crazy. Grand rising. It's really crazy you say that because I remember getting up early. Like we used to have to get up before the sun came up to meet this lady. And we'll meet the lady and she'll pick all up on the back of the truck or whatever, and we'll go out to the field. But I remember those times teaching me a lot of work ethics, a lot of valuable work ethics that literally that I don't think I would have learned from anywhere else. And then transforming it to field welding, going out doing repairs, working for someone else first, completely working for someone else. It just gave me the concept of after working in the cotton fields, literally, and then working for someone else, getting out of prison and doing that time, it let me know one thing, in my personal opinion, that if if I'm always just looking for the money only, it's gonna turn me into a slave, family. You know what I mean? Just to pay bills, because sometimes you do certain things just to get by, and you're not chasing your dreams, your ambitions to do better things. You're just trying to pay bills. You're just trying to make sure the lights and water and gas is on. And especially growing up, in the projects and the rural areas, our families were just trying to make it, man. So just to be out and about now, independently, it opened my mind up to the truth that we have to learn how to use a job, family. We have to learn how to use employment to build our independence. And I'm not even saying that you can't have an employment, because you can have a side job and two, three businesses. And you just do this just to have something to do to bring a little income. And it might not even be about the income for you. It might just be the work ethics, or, putting this to the side for something else, especially if you got the free time and it's something you don't mind doing. You know what I mean? So I never knocked the job. But to me, being independent was more eye-opening to me once I did that 10 years, and then I got out and I worked for someone for 10 years. So it's like I did 20 years, you know what I'm saying? Incarcerated, because you're controlled. You're dictated by what someone else say, want you to do. And, times like now when we got the pandemic keeping people from work, are they having to take certain vaccinations to keep the money going, you want to ask yourself, like, am I free to just do what I want to do, or am I like controlled by the system? And to me, being independent and learning the field welding gave me more independence, because even though you have to travel or you physically do certain things yourself, it still gives you the independence of knowing that you can make your own money. And then once you start getting into products over talent, making products and understanding the concept of products, from having different type of products, um, it opens your eyes more. But it's not going to be easy, and all of us is not blessed with a silver spoon. Some people literally gets opportunities that takes them to the next level. A $10,000 inheritance, a $20,000 inheritance, $100,000 inheritance, got hurt on a job, and that money took them to another level. But sometimes, coming from where we come from, we got to have either work ethics or connected to somebody that passed that give us something when they pass. But that's not even promised. You know what I mean? And we know how it is growing up in rural areas. And so, me being from Arkansas, I have seen racism, prejudice, belittlement from all different standpoints. And in Arkansas, you know, I consider Arkansas to be a good old boy state. That's what I call it, because they stick together. They people stick together. You know what I mean? Like here, you'll see a lot of these big corporations and companies. They stick together. They help one another eat, and it should be a perfect example for our African Americans, our black natives that live in the state, on how we should network. But we don't network like that. We just try to go work for them or get a job for them and then try to cut down other people because we don't, we up now, you know what I mean? But we're not up. So, I've been learning about ownership and building generational wealth and having property like this property that my mom left me in the back. This is something that she died, that she worked hard for, that she, got injured on jobs, and to be able to have a piece of inheritance to leave to her kids, you know what I mean? And some people, a lot of people will get things like this and they'll sell a grandmama's house, an auntie's house, a mama house just for a little money. And once it's gone, they they always living off. They're always living off that job. If they don't go to work, they can't eat. You know what I mean? And I think that in the rural areas, and I just want to say this because once you get blessed to someone to bless you with an inheritance, I think that is your duty to take care of it. You know what I mean? To break the curse. To break the curse of always having to do things that other people tend to have to do because they have no choice but to go punch that clock. And that's not knocking anyone, but I don't want to be forced to do anything. So coming from chopping cotton to field welding, it just showed me a lot of independence on getting up early, doing your own thing, planting your own seeds, building your own independence. And sometimes it's not going to be easy. And some people that'll say that they with you, you'll see that they're not really with you because sometimes they get intimidated by you doing something that they feel they couldn't do, or someone said they couldn't do, or why you're doing it. You know what I mean? But don't let none of that affect you. You know what I mean? Like that's why I like to say field welding isn't shop welding, because um, you have to be flexible. And to me, some of the if you go back in history, a lot of the revolts were from slaves that was in the field. A lot of the slaves that was in the house shops, so to speak, they cherished that position a lot, so they didn't want to do anything to jeopardize, the slave masters or the owners to put them outside. And one thing I had to embrace, family, I'm a cotton picking black man. You know what I mean? I grew up in it. You know what I mean? Not that I wanted to, but I grew up in it. And I'm a dark skinned brother, so I grew up being in the field. You know what I mean? And the field is actually what set me free. So even though it seems hard that we had to get out here in the sun and we had to work and we had to do certain things, the field is actually what gave me the opportunity to help others and be able to go back and teach. And it's the things that I do now. But it wasn't from me sitting in the shop being comfortable with what I was getting or barely getting by because I had been there. You know what I mean? So now it's more of a situation now where I utilize the my field experiences because traveling, being a field welder, an installer, doing repairs, that has opened up so many doors for me, family. I can't even exaggerate. But it had to come from somewhere. So sometimes we knock our beginning. Shout out to Bankroll Freddie, who is also from Arkansas, who from Helena, which is where my grandfather was from. My grandfather was from Helena, and he left there, and he ended up moving to Arkansas City, which is not that far from Helena, and he ended up getting his establishment there after World War II is really where he got his start at. So shout out to Bankroll Freddie, and I think even he made a quote or was in the interview talking about, his first job as far as chopping cotton, coming from rural areas like this, that was the only opportunities, you know what I mean? The only opportunities. And I mix welding and hip hop together on that hashtag because welding is a physical trade that people think you can only be on the assembly line doing it. They don't really a lot of us don't think of the creations of the things that you can do, of the money you can make from doing it, from education, from products, from services, So I wanted to put two things that I really, really enjoy. And I really enjoy welding and I really enjoy hip hop. And I know a lot of the younger generation, they gravitate to the hip hop. So I want to, let them know it's okay. Embrace your culture. That's where you're from, or you're in a certain area, or you like certain, that's okay. But you also got to have something that's going to get you over the hump. And I use welding. Not saying that everybody had to use it, but welding is a trade where, to me, coming from rural areas, you don't have to have the GED. You don't have to have a perfect school attendance. You don't have to. You don't even know how. I know welders that's great that don't even know how to read. Family that's making good money. It's all about work ethics and skills. So just because you can't do something that the school system say, oh man, you slow if you can't do that. That don't mean you're slow, family. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that at all. I think that just means you learn a little different. You know what I mean? So as long as you're willing to learn and you can learn regardless of what situation you're in, just you use all of that. You know what I mean? So me learning about chopping cotton, being young, going out there in the cotton fields with, some of my, like I say, some of my family and relatives from McGee, Arkansas, and Arkansas City, and Watson and Durham, or, surrounding areas, Dumas. You know, we uh we had to get it from a different way. And a lot of us was brought up at that time, a lot of us was in single homes. And, you know, we looked out for one another on a different scale than you see now. Now, it's pretty much about the shine and, somebody stepping on someone else, or you don't see the unity as far as the development of our culture. So me coming home, things has been slow, but I haven't been here that long, like 3 weeks. So things have been a little slow, but I am making progress, at mama's house. And I just wanted to say that me working in the cotton fields to field welding to, owning my own company and having to go back and reinvent myself, reinvent the company, change some things, get it fitted for the area, you know what I mean? It's humbling, family. But one thing for sure, I know where I came from. I know I came from the cotton field. I know I came from where I had to get up early to go get it. And I got it, you know what I mean? So being in a situation now where, I think a little different and I stay to myself in certain things, but I feel like now I'm able to really take my life to a different level now and really help someone else, because I can really help someone now because I have been on both sides of the fence, you know what I mean? So now it's all about regrouping, um, rebuilding, rebranding, and coming up with a different um, approach. So that's why, I like to put emphasis on field welding and shop welding, saying welding hip hop, because I think we need more awareness of it. And also being a black welder, embrace your culture. Like, it seems like some people don't want to embrace that they are black. They'll rather embrace a specific group that's been made. Oh, I'm a this. Oh, I'm this. But it's like everybody don't want to just say I'm a black business owner. I'm a black welder. I'm proud of being. I'm a black entertainer. I'm a black teacher. And I like to teach my people. And I like to tell people that I was sent here to help, to embellish, to open up doors, to break chains for my black people. But I'm here to help anyone. But I'm sent to help mine. So my heart goes out to people that I seen that look like me, that was in the situations of not knowing anything, not knowing where to go, what direction to take, you know, not knowing how they gonna eat a meal from here to there, being in rural areas where you felt like only crime was your only way out. I like to be that example to say, hey, use me as example, family. I did 11 years incarcerated, and now I'm still out doing something productive. I'm moving, and I'm opening up doors that I would have never thought that I could do, possibly. I have learned things from working for others that I use for myself. And to me, I think that's the great thing about being a skilled tradesman and working for skilled companies, because you learn a lot of things on different job sites that you can eventually one day use for yourself. Like I've been doing at my mom's house, building a garage on it, doing gates, um, doing repairs on the inside, different things that I've learned from other companies, and I just applied it to myself. And I believe that if someone else can do it, family, you can do it. If you have seen another man perform this act or do this task, then you can do it. You might have to tweak it and do it a little differently, but you can do it. So I just wanted to say, me coming from chopping cotton to field welding, it has been a great experience. But it has been an experience to show that I am a field person. I worked in some harsh environments, from sweaty to muggy to heat to seeing people pass out, in the whole squad lines in prison. People died out there. People are seeing officers and sergeants throwing water on people that after they passed out and they go into shock. You know what I mean? People have died like that, and I've seen it. From burner unit to commerce unit to brickies, Derrimar. People, and like, this is, are you in an area of the South that we really don't realize that the prisons here, to me, was to trap us here, to use us for free labor and for commerce, in my personal opinion. So a lot of people coming from these areas, they don't know a whole lot. So when they get any type of opportunity, they try to hold on to it and they're willing to do what it takes. So I just want to say I am from the South. I'm from McGee, Arkansas. I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I never had a problem with getting my hands dirty, family. Never had a problem with my hands dirty because I realized that's the only way I'm going to get something. That's the only way I'm going to get to that next level is getting my hands dirty. So, me being a cotton picking, a cotton picking brother, you know what I mean? It is what it is, you know what I mean? Um, I'm cool with it, and I want others who have came behind me or others who are coming up in our culture, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Embrace where you're from, embrace your culture, who you're from. We all had it rough, man. I know families that had to sleep, three in a bed, four in one bed. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. Don't never grow up and get beside yourself and be like, oh man, I'm too big for that now. I gotta look this way. But I just don't get into all of that. I just feel like we need raw and pure examples, and that's all I want to do is just be a pure example of someone surviving from rural areas. And like I say, I'm in Arkansas, and I'm trying to kick off a independent welding school, an independent welding facility where I can teach and help Black people obtain trades and have different tradesmen come in and teach trades. That's my goal. That's my focus. Because we don't have that here. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's time for us to start supporting our own people. So if you see someone that looks like you, that's Black, and they got something going on, man, and it's pure, they really, own it, then support it. You know what I mean? Support it, from sharing it, from sending donations, from being a part of it, whatever. There's so many ways to support. But I just want to say this, man. Don't despise the day of small beginnings. We all got to start from somewhere, family. So I would just say, just get started and just get your hog on, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean? But I got to embrace the fact that I am from the South. I started off chopping cotton, was my first job that I ever had, like ever made some money from, and wasn't even supposed to be working. I was chopping cotton, so I get it. I understand. I understand the system. So I don't have no problem with working. So like I say, I'm in my hometown now. Don't really know how things are going to go, but I know they're going to go because I'm willing to network. I'm willing to get my hands dirty. I'm willing to do what it takes. So just wanted to say this morning that don't despise where you're from. If you came from a hard area, embrace it. It's okay because there's someone else that came from it too, and they need to see a perfect example, the progress, the struggle. A lot of people just see I was here and now I'm here, but they never seen how a person got there in between, and that's why I do my blog the way I do. I show different stages. I show different, you know, parts of my life, where I go, where I travel, what I did, because you need to know that things are realistic. You're gonna have to change things. You're gonna have to switch it up. You're gonna have to go with, go from having no business partners to a few business partners. It's okay. I think that's all. That's all in the growth and development of your company or in yourself personally. Because as we grow better and as we know better, we tend to do better and we grow more. We're willing to be more open to the help. Sometimes you can be in a position where You can be so hard headed, so to speak, that you'll get some good help and you'll push it away. Don't push away your good help. You know, um, be patient, keep working hard, and whatever it is that you're trying to do, just know if you don't put no work ethics behind it, if you don't do it, if you don't get your hands dirty, then 9 times out of 10, it's not going to get done. You can't, you can't get upset when you give your vision to someone else and you expect them to live by it or you expect them to do what you would do with it. You got to get your hog on, family. You're going to have to do things yourself. So everything I ever had, everything I ever done, I had to do it myself. You know, sure enough, I wish it was a lot of people surrounded by me, giving me pats on the back. But, you know, like Noah, he had to build the ark. And he had to build the ark because the ark was given to him. It was his vision. It was his baby to nurture. It was his task to endure. So your business, your life, where you want to go, it's up to you. It's all up to you, family. So just wanted to say that. Salute, salute. Everybody be blessed. Keep prospering. Hog on.